Shall we play a game?
Hey friends, this is Chris.
And Yeji.
Welcome back. So we've got to talk about the crazy crap that's going on. Highlights is, I guess we're maybe buying Canada. Korea is crashing.
Who's
Germany's
buying Canada?
USA. Not us personally, but USA is buying Canada maybe or something. Well, actually, you know what? Let's just play the video. Have a listen.
There's 41 million Canadians, basically the population of California, sitting on the world's largest amounts of all resources, including the most important, energy and water. Canadians, over the holidays, the last 2 days, have been talking about this. They want to hear more. And so, you know, there's obviously a lot of issues, more details, but what this could be is the beginning of an economic union. Think about the power of combining the two economies, erasing the border between Canada and the United States, and putting all that resource up to the northern borders where China and Russia are knocking on the door. So secure that, give a common currency, figure out taxes across the board, get everything trading both ways, create a new, almost EU-like passport. I like this idea, and at least half of Canadians are interested. The problem is the government's collapsing in Canada right now. Nobody wants Trudeau to negotiate this deal. I don't want him doing it for me, so I'm going to go to Mar-a-Lago. I'll start the narrative. The 41 million Canadians, I think most of them would trust me on this deal.
So that was Kevin O'Leary, who's the TV star of which show?
Shark Tank.
Yeah, and I guess he's going to go to Florida to talk to who?
Trump?
Yeah, who was the TV star of The Apprentice. So that's the USA. We got TV stars deciding whether or not we're going to join with Canada.
They want to join the Canada, or they want to them join the
Yeah, it's probably more Canada joining. Well, the word he says is like we want to erase the borders. We're just going to take an eraser to the map and like make Canada part of USA. I'd be curious how Canada's. Listen, okay, at least according to Kevin O'Leary, he seems to act like a lot of Canadians want to become American. Is that true? Canadians, I want to hear it in the comments.
Is he Canadian?
Yeah, he's Canadian. Yeah.
Canadian or
No, he's Canadian.
immigrant?
No, he's Canadian.
Canadian?
I mean, I can look it up. Let's ask the AI here. Hey, is the TV star Kevin O'Leary Canadian?
Yeah, Kevin O'Leary is definitely Canadian. He was born
Okay.
and raised there. Even though he's super successful in the US, he always represents Canada on shows like Shark Tank.
Yeah, he represents Canada. Should the USA buy Canada?
The idea of the US buying Canada is a complicated one with a long history. There have been discussions about it on and off for a really long time, but it's never actually happened. There's no easy answer about whether or not it should happen.
What would be the top 5 reasons why the USA should buy Canada?
There's been a lot of debate on this over the years. Here are some of the reasons why people think the US should buy Canada. First off, it'd be a huge economic boost. Canada has a lot of natural resources the US needs, like oil and minerals, and they have a well-educated workforce that could benefit American companies. Second, it would strengthen North American security. The US and Canada already work closely together on military matters, and being one country would make that even easier. Another point is that it could make trade a whole lot simpler. Right now, there are still tariffs and regulations when goods cross the border. If the two countries were one, that would all go away, making it easier for businesses on both sides. Also, Canada's got a lot of fresh water, which is becoming more and more valuable, especially in the western US where there's not a lot. Finally, some people figure it would be easier to manage immigration if the US and Canada were one country. They wouldn't have to worry about illegal border crossings as much.
What are the top 5 reasons why Canada would not want to join the USA?
Alright, here are some reasons why Canada might not want to join the US. First off, a lot of Canadians really value their healthcare system. It's publicly funded, which means it's basically free for everyone. They worry that joining the US would put that system at risk. Another big one is Canadian culture. They like having their own unique identity, their own flag, their own national anthem. Joining the US could feel like they're losing some of that. Also, some people worry about losing their political influence. Canada has a pretty big say in the global community, and they might not have the same level of power if they were just part of the US. Another worry is that the US's environmental regulations aren't as strict as Canada's. They're concerned that joining up could lead to more lax rules that would harm the environment. Finally, some Canadians are worried about losing their national parks and public lands. The US doesn't always have the same level of protection for these spaces, and they're worried about losing that.
So it's kind of funny. The AI is actually pretty accurate there because and I don't know if the AI is like knows who's president right now because Donald Trump he's actually been talking about using our parks, our federal land to build a bunch of hotels and casinos and that kind of stuff. Real. So I guess Trump's plan is to take over Canada, turn your parks into Trump casino, mine for crypto.
Mine crypto
Mhm.
or just bunch of just factory.
And then Musk, who's really the real president, he doesn't care about the environment. He always complains about the environment. So what Musk wants to do is build rockets in Canada, probably launch them over and just drop rockets on your house and that kind of stuff. It actually kind of fits in. I'm not for it, but I'm saying I understand why Trump wants to do it according to the AI, and I can see why Canadians are like, wait, I like my flag. Actually, Canadian flag is really cool. And I used to go to
Cool.
the flag. Yeah, because she used to live in Canada. Which city?
Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
If we could live there, we'd totally do it. We're not Canadian, so. But here's an advantage: if America does buy Canada, then we can just move to Vancouver, no problem. Yeah. I know Canadians are like really mad right now. Like we're making jokes, guys. The USA shouldn't. In this world, though, I mean, with Trump, the way they're talking, it's like, can you believe they're saying this crap on national TV? And this is a Canadian now. Kevin O'Leary, and I don't know how you guys feel about him being Canadian, but some of the other things I thought was interesting that they're basically just kind of saying if you join USA, your country's not going to be as pretty. You're going to lose water. They're like, you're going to lose some of your water. Crazy. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't join. And then the big benefits for what it sounds like to me if USA takes Canada is just benefits rich people. That's what it sounds like. Trump and Musk and stuff like that.
Nonsense.
Yeah, so there's that. So
Who's to Larry?
Oh, Kevin O'Leary?
Yeah, who's this? Even on Shark Tank, we watched a bunch of. No one takes his offer.
Yeah, they always want to go with Mark Cuban. Yeah. Well, so things have definitely changed. So you probably don't know this actually. So Mark Cuban was really a supporter of Kamala Harris, right? And then O'Leary is really a Trump supporter. So, but if you watch the show itself, everyone just goes for Mark, and no one chooses Kevin, even though he calls himself Mr. Wonderful.
Plus,
what's that?
He always give like bad offer, really hard the company.
Yeah, he tries. So this, that's a good point to mention because if he is in charge of selling Canada to the USA, Canadians are going to get a terrible deal, and maybe
even no deal.
Yeah, maybe no. Yeah, you don't get anything, and then Kevin O'Leary, pockets all that stuff in commission. That's probably the plan. So don't take the deal, guys. Okay, we got to move on to Korean news. So the Korean currency is the lowest to the dollar in 16 years. So basically, we're talking like 08, 09 financial crisis kind of stuff. What?
Yeah, not last year, this year when we hit the 1,400원, how much?
Yeah. So right now,
1,400.
Right now it's 1,477.
Yeah, it's
for $1.
Getting close to the 1,500.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That is crazy. That's really bad shape in Korea.
Normally, so again, this is a 16-year low. Normally, it trades around $1 to like 1,100, maybe 1,200, but not to these extreme levels. So
even we thought 1,300 was high.
Yeah. 1,300 was high, but now we're getting close to 1,500.
Yeah.
So this has massive ramifications for everyone, really, to be absolutely frank. And also, are the markets telling us something?
Yes, crashed today. The market's really crashed today.
Oh, in
Korea.
Okay, I actually have Korean stocks. I haven't really looked. Okay, I don't want. She's got a bunch more than I do, so I probably don't want to know. Just don't look. I probably don't want to know. But yeah, I have some too. I saw it.
A lot of foreign monies.
Yeah, leave it. I heard that. Yeah. So theoretically, right, and you guys can make decisions whatever you like. Is this the bottom? Is this now the time to buy? And I
don't know. People hold cash right now, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the problem is though, if your cash is weak, I wonder if there's a fear of Koreans printing something like that. Okay, so what's going on right now is we had the impeachment of Yoon. A new guy stepped in. He's like acting president. I think that's what they call him.
New guy, but he's minister.
The new to the job, right?
But he's kind of doing. We say 발버둥치다. He's like kind of moving his feet that he doesn't want to go to prison, so he's doing something for himself. I think
that sounds like Trump. the whole. So there's uncertainty they're going to do a second impeachment, which would be pretty messy. So there's a lot of basically political uncertainty in Korea. So you have that. So that's basically crashing our stocks, crashing the currency.
Everything is stopped right now.
Yeah.
Korea.
So that would mean, like, just give example. Theoretically, maybe your Samsung phones become really cheap because then the dollar could buy that stuff for you. Just theoretically. For us here, it's actually really expensive then for us to buy American goods because the dollar is so expensive. It would be expensive for us to travel to the USA. It's definitely not a good time for us to go to Hawaii. That kind of stuff. It's just the currency exchange is horrible. And then the other thing is like if all the other currencies in the world follow that, Trump's goal, this is, he's trying to do, Trump's goal is to say, hey guys, we're going to bring all the manufacturing jobs, all the factory jobs back to USA. But it's hard to make things in USA if the dollar's so strong, because that means it's expensive for everyone else around the world to buy American goods, right? So then theoretically, I guess the plan is to buy Canada, or mine, better say, mine a bunch of Bitcoin, and I'm sure he'll make a Trump coin or a Musk coin or whatever they're going to call this thing, the Trumpy Musky coin, and then try to weaken the dollar so then they can get exports going again and trade. I don't know what Trump is playing, but I'm just telling you right now, the meltdown here in Korea is actually very real. The articles that we're seeing, so the currency's at a 16-year low. They just ran an article where our housing is like, I think they said it's 13 times regular income. So if you want to buy like an average house in Korea, your average income is it's like 13 times. I actually thought it was in the 20s. I thought it was much higher, but 13 is still very high because in comparison, USA, it's right now, which is high historically. I think it's like 8 times. So meaning that if you saved all your money and didn't spend anything, it did every penny, saved all your money, it would take you 8 years to buy an average house. Here it takes you like 13 years of all your money, right? And don't spend anything. And I think you guys get the point. It's expensive. And then we also have a slowing down of the economy. We're tied to China. We're tied to USA. We're all connected, guys. But when we get this massive imbalance in currency, it's a bit concerning. And then you got a president who's going, and talking about Trump, who's talking about buying Canada, buying Greenland, buying Panama. Maybe he's going to try to buy Korea for all we know. I don't know. He's talking about pulling out of NATO and stuff like.
Search of crazy stuff.
Yeah, so there's a lot of uncertainty now in terms of just general money investing. Usually, when people look back in history, like say for example, the bottom of the crash of the 0809, like I wish I would have bought the bottom, right? So.
Yeah, if you have cash, you have a ball to move right now. Time to move, right?
Well, whenever that's going to, at least in terms of Korean won, can it go even lower than this? So that's the. I mean, right now we're at a 16-year low.
Yeah, I think over 1500 is gonna be, that is dangerous.
That should be the barrier where people are just gonna be like, I'm gonna start, buying up won.
Our central bank
try to support it. Yeah, usually they do. We're gonna see. That's why I wanted to bring it up with you guys. And we didn't even get into the French government's in question and the German government's in question. And yeah, I mean, that's why we talk about Trump a lot on the channel. Not Trump, but Musk, I should say. Well, Trump's the uncertainty one, right? So it's causing other uncertainties around the world. Because, like, for example, I'll give you an example. Trump's talking about tariff stuff, right? So I've been hearing reports that many countries around the world are trying to put in orders now to try to get ahead of the tariffs, right? So you're kind of stocking up on stuff, countries, companies, etc. You also have then Musk basically buying influence to try to get, we'll just say right-leaning people to do what they want to do, conspiracy theories and nonsense. He tweets out nonsense nonstop. So I'll talk about his tweets sometimes. Like, so for example, there's one that was recent that everyone's kind of pissed off about is, so from Musk's point of view, and we didn't talk about this one yet. From Musk's point of view, he just wants cheap workers, basically, okay? So he was arguing with people on his, platform, whatever, whether or not we have enough people in America to hire. So Musk was saying, we don't have enough talented people in America to hire for tech. And then like all the Americans, like we made a couple of videos like kind of, no, I'm talented. Why didn't you just hire me? And then basically what ends up, you're too expensive, and you want to have a weekend. Yeah. Right. So if you want to work for Musk and you want to work for cheap but no weekends, right? Never see your family. That's the job. But yeah, that's kind of the world I feel like we're going into. if you put it all together, just trying to in the most simplest terms, it's just we're getting a massive divide between rich and poor. And it's kind of like the Squid Game show. And we just made a review on that on our vlog channel, so you guys can watch that. Find our vlog channel. It's called Christian AG. But it's related because it's like some people want to change the system to being, we shouldn't just be fighting over,
Divide.
yeah, because the poor people basically divide, right? And the alternative would be, hey, let's try to have a more fair system and not necessarily let Musk and Trump rule everything. But then the other reverse thing, which many Americans subscribe to, is they don't really like dislike the system. They just want to be on top. Like they want to, they think they can be Trump and Musk. Do you understand what I'm
But
saying?
they're very bottom.
Yeah, they're never going to be Trump and Musk. I hate to break it to you guys. If you're not born on a golden toilet, if you're not born with emeralds in your pocket, chances are you're not going to be Trump or Musk. And I know it sounds mean, but I'm telling you the truth in these things. But some people actually believe it, and so they kind of aspire to be Musk. That's who their dream idol is to be. They want to have many wives, many kids. They want to live in a cult compound.
Cybertruck drives Cybertruck.
Yeah, and some people they fantasize about that stuff. And if you warn them about trying to have that kind of lifestyle, they get upset and angry. So we joke about these, but I just give you an example. I mean, let's just be honest. So Musk is so depressed, he has to take pills to not be depressed.
Yeah.
That's been widely reported. He even tweets about it. And then I don't consider that to be a healthy lifestyle, but unfortunately, that's who's sort of pulling the strings or ruling the world right now. And we're having meltdowns that we haven't seen for like 16 years. How bad is it going to get? I don't know. I can't say that. But what I can say is me personally, because we talk about this stuff all the time, I don't think now's the time to take massive risks on stuff. The housing's in a bubble here. I think it's a bubble in the USA where everything's just too expensive. So there's got to be a crash coming. We've been saying that for a while, but it feels like it's going to happen eventually. I don't know. No one knows for sure. I mean, no one knows. The housing crash we've been saying for years.
Bubble over 10 years in Korea, but it's keep going up.
It's got to because the Chinese market crashed.
Some
What's that?
people still saying, some, we do have like hot areas.
Oh, sure.
Kind of place is gonna keep going up. Others maybe a little bit crash, but certain place they're never gonna crash.
So the joke we say in English is but this time is different.
Yeah.
So because if you look back in history, there's always like no one ever thought it was ever going to crash, right? And I just made the video. I tried to explain to you the AI thing. You remember that? We talked about this morning.
Yeah.
Where if you guys don't know, you saw my last video. Basically, OpenAI and Microsoft made a deal, and the deal was, okay, we're going to define AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, as being success when we make a bunch of money, like $100 billion. Because normally, what's that?
말장난, you say 말장난.
What does that mean?
Just playing with words.
Oh, yeah. It just seems like a bunch of not. Because normally, what you would say, okay, success. The benchmark is, it can think on its own with own ideas, or do better than a human.
Yeah.
Not just put a dollar value. So everyone was making jokes and comments of like, let's just be honest. This thing is saying, okay, when it starts printing out money, we're going to announce that we're successful with technology, right? And that's all it ends up being. It's a big Ponzi, essentially. Yeah. And if that's our bubble, we're going to remember this time as being an AI, crypto, musky Tesla bubble put on top of the Trump, who becomes president in January. So I think that's why we're seeing all this uncertainty. The next, what's the date today? Today is the 27th. The next, 3 weeks, I guess, he becomes president, are going to be kind of wild as we go into it. And we'll see if he's like just joking about this Canada stuff. I don't know what's going on. I personally don't joke about these things.
Yeah.
We were joking about, but I mean, we're not the president of the United States. Like, I'm not.
Teasing of other countries.
Yeah, don't joke about buying other countries and crap. The problem is with Kevin O'Leary and Trump, I guess for them it's not a joke. To us it's a joke because it's so stupid. Yeah. I want to hear from Canadians on this. What do you guys think? Do you want to give up your flag? Don't give up your song. The Canadian song is really good. I used to go to hockey games because I lived in Portland. We used to see the Portland Winterhawks, the minor league team. I always liked the Canada song. It's like so cool. I'm serious. I really like the Canada song. Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. Oh, Canada, our home and native land. I think that's how it was. Native. Yeah. So you guys can correct me. Da, da, da. Yeah, it was cool. And the girls who can skate, because they always have a female, they can skate with the flag. It's really hard to skip the flag. I'm pro Canada, so don't join USA. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Not worth it. Okay, talk to you guys next time. Bye.